If you don't prioritize you slowing down and resting, you will feel overworked, you will feel overwhelmed, you will burn yourself out, you may be depressed, you may feel anxious, you may have anxiety, or you may feel discouraged. And that's not what we want to experience. So let's get straight into the video. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance. Why are rest days important? What can you do when it comes to resting, and what you need to know about rest? If you do not take your time doing anything in life, you are going to feel drained, and it takes away from your creativity and your passions and your actual success, or whatever it is that you want to receive or achieve. If you try to overwork yourself physically, you may not be in shape. Mentally, your mind may be worrying, right? Emotionally, you may feel unstable, which is not going to help you produce or provide what you need to maintain what it is that you're asking and receiving, or to actually allow it to manifest in your reality. So, for example, if your goal is to lose weight, there are only 24 hours in a day. It's only so many exercises and workouts and yoga sessions that you can attend within a day. Same thing if you're building a house. Only 24 hours a day. Same thing, if you're trying to become a content creator or start a business. They're only 24 hours a day. And what has helped me along my healing journey, and what I'm recommending to you when it comes to rest, or just anybody, is that if you do not learn to slow down and do what you can every single day, you're going to give up. And that's why a lot of people do not become successful or get the things that they want, because they're so consumed and so infatuated with what they want that they're suffocating it and they're blocking it. And like I said, it triggers so many areas of your life. Your mental health is connected to psychologically, your emotional health, your physical health, spiritual health, and even your finances. So the first recommendation in order for you to slow down is to realize that you can only do so much. So validating where you are and accepting by being present. I know you don't want to hear that. I know you're so excited. I know you want these things. I know you want to be around certain people. I know you want that business. I know you just want these things. But until you realize that today is the only day that matters, you cannot rush the future, nor do you know what's going to happen in the future, and you can't go in your past, you are going to drive yourself insane. So all you can do right now is be present. That's the first thing that you have to do, is just drop everything. So if you were in a rush today, if you were overwhelmed, or whenever you see this video, relax. Like, literally just stop. Drop everything. As long as you're not going to make a mess, and you can clean it up afterwards, but it's like you have to be still. The second recommendation with you being still is making a to-do list. So for example, you can use your notes. You can use handy dandy calendar, you can use an iPad, you can use a planner, you can use whatever you need. Let me move back, okay? Whatever you need to organize a to-do list. And with this list, you need to make what you need to do, like a to-do list or a checklist, however you want to word it, as well as how long it's going to take for you to complete these tasks. And if you are fancy, prioritizing what you do based off of most important or least important, or however you want to. But it's really important that you have a schedule so you don't feel overwhelmed, right? Because there are only 24 hours in a day, and sometimes we cannot control when things are going to happen or how they happen. We can only control what we do with that time. It's really just mindful to just have that consistency to help you stay focused and grounded when it comes to achieving your goals. So when you check off what you do, how long it's going to take, you realize how much time, energy, and effort is going to be required of you to do these tasks, and what you need to do to continue your task. Now, of course, the third thing you have to do is understand if it's a short-term task or if it's a long-term task. This is going to be based off of you. So for example, a short-term task would be cleaning your bathroom. Depending on how big your bathroom is and what's in it, that should not take more than a day. Unless, like you're mopping and you're cleaning, like I said, your bathroom size. But for me, it does not take more than a day than to clean my bathroom, unless I want to spot clean the next day. That's a short term. Versus a long term task is if I was starting a business, right? or if I was going back to school, or if I was learning a language. It just depends on the time, energy, and effort, because you get to decide if it's going to be a short-term or long-term goal. But the reason why you need to know the difference is so you're not stressed out. Like if you're trying to go back to school, that may take 2 to 4, maybe 8 years, depending on what you're going to school for. If you stress yourself out and think that you just have to get your degree, your certificates in a month or two, you're gonna feel like anxious. You're more than likely gonna quit. So it's like, if you understand how much time, energy, and effort is put into your goal, you don't have to feel like, oh my God, I have to, like you don't have to be unbalanced. You don't have to be emotionally unstable. So the fourth recommendation, once you're learning to be present, once you make your to-do list, once you identify if it's a short or long-term goal, is to be okay with where you are, which is validating yourself. My camera got cut off, but it's okay for you to take your time. Speaking from experience, the more I tried to rush things that were out of my control, the more infuriated that I felt. And it's just like, I do not want to stress myself out, right? Nobody does. And a lot of people don't realize you can't control your success. You can control your success and your stress, right? And how you learn to regulate your stress is to embrace that things are going to take time. Learn patience, right? If it's only 24 hours in a day and you're doing things by yourself, you don't have the resources, you don't have the support, you don't have the finances, you're not where you need to be, why are you trying to rush? And this goes with anything. Like when you're healing yourself, you have to realize you are unlearning and learning information. You're unlearning programming, traditions, learning to set boundaries, learning to be confident, learning to create distance, learning to speak up and stand up for yourself, learning to physically move from your environment, from toxic, dysfunctional, chaotic people. Or you're maintaining your positive relationships. You're maintaining relationships with yourself and self-care and pouring into yourself, making yourself a priority. You're maintaining the relationships that you have with your family, your friends, and anything outside of you. Like, it's a lot. It's so much that goes into ourselves, and it's just like trying to stress about what we cannot change or what we cannot control is just unnecessary. And personally, when I'm making this video, it's November. We're leaving that in 2024. Like, there's a lot of things that you should learn to let go of. And for me personally, that's what I'm doing. And for anybody who chooses to support me, that's what I recommend for you guys as well. Because it's just like stressing ourselves out, feeling overwhelmed. It's just like learning to control your emotions is going to help you heal yourself and realize why it's so important to not be overwhelmed. Like whatever goal you have, when you are, like I said, doing these things, healing yourself, it's bad enough you are traumatized. It's bad enough you went through trials and tribulations. It's bad enough you went through abuse psychologically, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, however. Like, it's already bad that you've been living in this life or environment, or you felt this way about yourself or whatever it is, suppressing your feelings. So it's like the least that we can do is give ourselves some credit. And that's the fifth recommendation. And that's why it's really important to rest, because it's just like, you know what you went through. You know you went through hell and back just to be where you are right now. So these are some affirmations. So I'm giving recommendations, educating, and affirmations that you have to say when you see this video. These affirmations are really important because it's like when you're doing these recommendations that I just listed for you and you're affirming it, you can gain the consistency as well as confidence. So the first affirmation that you need to start telling yourself is that everything is going to be okay. I'm going to list 3. Everything is going to be okay. Why is everything going to be okay, Ty? Well, because if you're doing everything that you can and you're not trying to rush, you're not trying to control how things happen, and you accept where you are and you just show up and you take your time, the time is going to go by. The time is going to go by, because who says that you have to complete these tasks or do these things if you know you don't have certain resources or you feel limited? Trying to have expectations is only going to discourage you. Like, it's nothing wrong with setting goals. It's nothing wrong to want to heal yourself, but we have to be practical. We have to be rational. We have to be realistic. And I know a lot of people encourage people to be delusional. I don't like that. I think it's very misleading and it's confusing and it's kind of chaotic, because it's like You can have an imagination, you could dream, but you don't have to be delusional about it. You could be confident, you can write it down, you can affirm it, you can brainstorm, and you could put in the work, and it's going to happen like that. Unless it does come supernaturally, but that's not delusion, that's faith. That's a different topic for a different video. And now I'm getting off subject, but it's just like, slow down, relax, know that everything is going to be okay. Okay? The second affirmation is, I believe what it is that I'm working on or what I'm asking for is going to work out. You have to know that everything is going to work out for you. It's one thing to know that everything is going to be okay and the time is going to go by, but it's another thing to know that everything is going to work out how it's supposed to. And you have to be okay if things do not work out how you want them to, because it's like sometimes, and I'll make that into a separate video, sometimes we want things to happen for us and it's not for us. And instead of us beating ourselves up or being discouraged or just quitting and feeling like it's the end of the world, it's like, okay, well, if this didn't work out for me, let's self-reflect and realize why. Maybe it wasn't in alignment of what I really wanted or what you really wanted or who you wanted to be. So it's like, you just have to be okay with knowing that you have to slow down sometimes. You have to take your time. You have to give yourself credit. And sometimes resting requires you to sleep. Resting requires you to only do 2 tasks a day. Resting requires you to do 1 task a day. You know how much energy and effort you can pour into yourself daily. If you're dealing with disabilities, take your time. If you're a woman, you have menstrual cycles, rest. If you're feeling sick, rest. If you're a man and you're out of shape and you're trying to get to the gym, rest. Rest is important. You're not lazy for resting. You're not lazy because you trying to do everything. It's only going to stress you out. And you can't worry about people speaking negatively of you or going against you and trying to challenge you or make you seem like you're a lazy person. They don't know what you've been through. I've had people talk about me, not realize my 24 hours in a day and their 24 hours in a day is not the same. We don't live the same life. I'm very, very, very fortunate and extremely blessed and extremely privileged to have the hours of the days where I can do as I please. Everyone doesn't have that. And as someone who is privileged, I'm here to share and inform and educate my resources with you all watching this video, because everyone does not know what I know. And I don't think I know everything. I know what I know, but it's just like trying to be worried about society, what everybody else is doing. Who cares? If they're not pouring into you, if they're not helping you, you cannot burn yourself out. That's how people give up. And if you know anything about maintenance and longevity, it's not the goals, it's the lifestyle. It's the lifestyle. Like losing weight, unless you get to a certain weight, and even still, once you lose the weight, you still want to continue, because if not, if you gain the weight back, all of that work you did was for what? Same thing with buying a car. Like, we have to learn how to value what it is that we want. And when you become passionate about it, it's not going to stress you out. If you're stressed out, if you're drained, you got to take a step back. And I get it. I've been there. I've done that. I've been so excited about certain things in my life where at a point in my time, I had to realize this is starting to drain me. And then it's like, if you don't take a second to realize how this is draining you, you're not going to feel motivated. So it's like, rest. Take your time. You're not lazy. You know what you have to go through. You know what you need to do to get things done. And nobody is rushing you to do it other than yourself, unless you feel peer pressured, which you shouldn't. So if you have questions, comments, or concerns and this video resonates with you, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you're commenting down below. Make sure you turn on your post notifications. Subscribe. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Subscribe. And if you have questions or comments about this video, let me know in the comment section, or if you want me to discuss anything that I haven't already, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. All the information will be down in the description box below. And if you want a one-on-one session, head to my website at tayanassummer.com. When you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, I will be going live, asking you questions, seeing the vibes, as well as my story on Instagram and on TikTok, but mainly on Instagram, where I do polls and have you guys vote to see what we need to talk about, what we need to continue focusing on, what needs to be separated, or what we need to improve and fall back from. Okay, but rest. You're not lazy. It's a lot that takes time to do anything, and if you want to maintain what it is that you're asking and praying for and believing for, you have to take your time doing it. Once you slow down, you won't feel anxious, you won't be worried, because you know Once you know something, you're not going to doubt it. Okay? Love you. Bye.